Do you think the Baltic Sea is just a cold, gray body of water in northern Europe? Throw away the world map. What we call the Baltic Sea is actually a gigantic natural anomaly that breaks the rules of oceanography. Today, you're in for 7 facts that will completely change how you see this familiar resort destination. Make sure to watch until the very end. You'll find out why ships here don't age for hundreds of years and how this sea could disappear right before our eyes, turning into an ordinary lake. Imagine, you cast your fishing rod and pull up a marine flounder, and a minute later, the same hook catches a freshwater pike or perch. You think you're losing your mind? Welcome to the Baltic. This is the freshest sea in the world, a true chemical cocktail mixed by nature in the strangest proportions. While a regular ocean has about 35 grams of salt per liter, in some Baltic bays the salt content is less than in your bowl of soup. It's almost distilled water. Why does this happen? The Baltic is a huge basin into which hundreds of full-flowing rivers pour, while its connection to the ocean through the narrow Danish Straits is so weak that salty water simply doesn't have time to get in. Because of this, a unique world of mutants has emerged here. Marine species become smaller and live at the edge of their possibilities, while freshwater species feel completely at home. This is the only place on Earth where you can see cod and carp swimming in the same school as if that's completely normal.
If the strange water just surprises you, the next fact turns the Baltic into the best museum in the world, and it's free and underwater. We're used to sunken wooden ships disappearing in other seas. Shipworms eat them and salt destroys them. But the Baltic acts like a giant refrigerator preserver. Thousands of ships lie on the bottom, from Viking dracars to 15th century galleons, and they look as if they sank yesterday. Masts are intact, cannons lie on the decks, barrels of cargo remain in the holds. Divers call it magic, but the explanation is simple. The main enemy of wood, the shipworm teredo, doesn't live in this water. It just doesn't like the taste here. Too little salt, plus cold and darkness create perfect preservation conditions. The famous warship Vasa, raised from the bottom, lay there for 333 years and was preserved almost perfectly. You could walk along the Baltic seabed like it's the streets of a flooded city. The past doesn't disappear here. It just waits for its explorer.
Now for a mystery that has made even skeptics nervous. A few years ago, Swedish researchers found something on the bottom of the Gulf of Bothnia, an object 60 meters in diameter of perfectly round shape that casts a long shadow. It looks like a giant mushroom or the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. When divers approached it, their equipment started going crazy. Cameras turned off, satellite phones lost signal. Swim 200 meters away, everything works again. Come back, devices die. Geologists say it's just an oddly shaped glacial deposit, but the surface looks like scorched concrete, and the straight angles and walls raise far too many questions. No one still knows for sure what it is: an ancient structure, a freak of nature, or something that fell from the sky. One thing is clear: the Baltic knows how to keep secrets that modern science can't yet explain.
You rise from the depths to look at the treasure the sea throws at your feet. If you've walked the beaches of Kaliningrad or Jurmala, you've probably searched for those yellow pebbles, amber. But have you ever thought about what it really is? You're not holding a stone, you're holding time. 40 million years ago, giant subtropical forests grew where this cold sea is now. The climate was hot and humid. Ancient pines oozed resin. It dripped onto the ground, hardened, and was washed by rivers into what would later become the sea floor. Amber is the frozen tears of an ancient forest. The most amazing part is the inclusions. Inside a transparent piece, you can see a fly or mosquito that landed on the sticky resin when humans didn't even exist yet. It's a perfect 3D photograph from the past. The Baltic holds the world's largest reserves of this sunny stone. After every strong storm, the sea literally spits tons of amber onto the shore, reminding us that jungles once stood here, not icy winds.
The Baltic isn't only history and beautiful stones, it's also a ticking mechanism. After 1945, the Allies decided to get rid of huge stockpiles of chemical weapons and couldn't think of anything better than to dump them in the deepest parts of the Baltic. Hundreds of thousands of tons of containers with deadly substances still lie there. Metal rusts, seawater slowly but surely eats through the shells of the shells. Scientists are watching this with growing concern. In some areas, bottom fishing is already banned. This is a delayed action mine under the entire region. The sea is trying to digest this terrible legacy, covering it with silt, hiding it in depressions. But we must remember, beneath the beautiful smooth surface lies a warehouse that's better left undisturbed. This is a harsh lesson in how humanity used the sea as a garbage dump, and now we have to live with the consequences.
If you think the sea is something eternal and unchanging, the Baltic is here to disappoint you. By geological standards, it's only about 4,000 to 12,000 years old in its current form. When the pyramids were already being built in Egypt, the Baltic was still changing its shape. Before that, there was a giant ice lake, then the Yoldia Sea, then the Ancillus Lake again. The Baltic is a teenager with a changeable personality. Sometimes it connects to the ocean, sometimes it closes off, and this process hasn't stopped. The coastline here isn't fixed, it's alive. Ancient maps of the sea no longer match reality. The most epic fact, a process happening right under your feet. The Baltic Sea is slowly vanishing. The Scandinavian peninsula is still rising after the weight of the ancient ice sheet. Imagine you get up from a soft couch and the cushion slowly springs back. That's what the Earth's crust is doing. In the northern Gulf of Bothnia, land rises at a rate of almost 1 centimeter per year, insanely fast for geology. Viking ports are now far inland. The sea is shallowing and retreating. Scientists predict that in the distant future, the bottom will rise so much that it will block the straits, and the Baltic will once again become a huge freshwater lake. Europe is changing right in front of our eyes. Land is advancing, reclaiming space from the water. So hurry up and see this sea the way it is now, because to the planet, the Baltic is just a temporary puddle left after the ice melted. 7 facts, from fresh water with sea fish to a seabed rising toward the sky. Now you understand that the Baltic Sea isn't just a vacation spot, it's a unique natural and historical laboratory. Write in the comments, have you ever found amber, and which fact surprised you the most? Cherish the moment and take care of nature. See you soon.